Hi there, I'm Lisa. I am doing something a little bit different today. I am going to be working with this reindeer head. It's a paper mache reindeer head, and I plan to cover it and paint it and hang it on my wall. We have a Wild Adventures theme on Lollipop Box Club this month, so this is a project I've been meaning to do for a while, so it's kind of pushed me in that direction of getting it done. So let's get started. I am starting with an old book. I will be covering a lot of it with book pages. Let's tear some out. I'm really sorry if some people hate book pages being torn. I see it as a way of reloving books and not damaging them. I am going to tear up some bits and pieces, and I will be sticking them down with PVA glue. Just make sure when you're doing this that the book pages you have are paper and they're matte and they're not gloss. We're going to be painting over it afterwards, and obviously the gloss will not react kindly to the paint, and it just won't stick in place, so it won't be a happy ending. Right, I've got an old paintbrush and my PVA glue, which has just gone everywhere. Let me just start that again. Right, I'm going to try that again. I managed to splash glue everywhere. I'm going to start on the back here, and I'm just going to put some glue down and just start sticking the pages in place. It doesn't have to be perfect, as it will be covered up with paper and paint, so it's just to give it a bit of a base, that's all. There we go, and I am going to continue doing this until it's more or less covered. And then I do a little bit over the top as well, just to make sure it sticks nicely in place. It's quite therapeutic doing this, if you like this kind of thing. I'm looking forward to hanging this on my wall. Okay, I'm just going to get on with this now and get this lovely reindeer head covered. I've just about covered most of what I want to cover in paper. There's just a couple of little bits I'm still just touching up. I haven't done the antlers, and I haven't done the insides of the ears. I'm trying to go over and just make sure that any loose bits are pressed down so that they cover nicely when it comes to painting. Just making sure that it's nice and smooth, and then I can leave it to dry before going on to the next step. There's a couple of bits down here that still need sticking down, and then I can just leave it to air dry. Okay, I'll just show you that. Okay, I'll be back soon. Okay, the reindeer head is nice and dry, and I'm now giving it a coat of gesso. I'm going to do this all over. I've decided to use gesso over acrylic paint purely because I want to see the book pages through partially, not completely, but it's just like a primer rather than a good solid paint. So I like that look of the book pages. So I'm going to do this now. I just thought I'd mention, with regards to the book pages, sometimes I pick up old books in charity stores. Sometimes they are books that I've read and I no longer want to read anymore. And sometimes, in this case, the book that I've used today, I actually bought a whole load of books from the works, brand new books, hardback, for 99p each, and I bought a whole load of them, and I've just been using them for various craft projects, art journals, the book pages themselves. I use them quite a lot on quite a lot of different arty, crafty projects, so they're quite handy. So that's where I get my books from. I'm going to continue here, give it a good paint over, and I will show you in a minute. Okay, I've left this overnight and I am now going to work on the antlers. I've decided to use some of this spotted tissue paper. This was in my, just part of the packaging in my recent Cocoa Daisy kit. It's just regular tissue paper and I'm going to use this to start covering. Just using a little bit of PVA glue. I would usually use Mod Podge, which I would much prefer, but I can't actually find my tub of Mod Podge. I've got a huge tub somewhere, and I know last time I had a tidy up, I rearranged things, and now obviously I can't find it. I tidied away so well that it's actually gone. So no doubt I will find it next time I'm looking for something else. You know how it is. So let's work on this, and just using my fingers, it's obviously still sticky from the glue. I'm just going to mold it round. Obviously you can also do this with proper decoupage paper as well, but tissue paper works fine too. And I had it lying around, so wasn't being used for anything else, so it's a nice way of using up bits and pieces that I had and not having to go and buy anything. Let's trim those off and tidy the ends. It just molds really nicely in. Let's do these side bits. Now, with regards to buying the reindeer head, you can buy other animals as well. For example, my brother-in-law collects rhinos, and I made them one. They had a loft conversion, which was finished just before Christmas, and they've got beautiful beams in their loft, and it just looks really lovely. So I made one of these rhino heads for him, and I left it, to be honest, just in the painted book pages. I wanted it nice and clean and simple. Their new room is very clean and simple with a kind of rustic look to it, hence the beams, the wooden beams, and they were really pleased with it. So you can buy other animals. I did find, however, I bought the rhino head, and I've bought these reindeer heads before around Christmas time because I was doing them as gifts, and there's a lot more choice and you can find a lot more animals and you've got a lot more places where you can buy them. But buying this one this time of year, I did really struggle. I will leave the link below where I did buy this one, but I did find nearer to Christmas there's a lot more choice. For example, there was loads in Hobbycraft. There were none at all when I went in just a couple of weeks ago. There's other kind of small animals that you can do, but not the big heads. I want this to go on the wall. And there wasn't anything at all. They did say to try online, which I did, but again there was nothing available. But I'm guessing come kind of October time there'll be a lot more choice. They also sell them, you can also get them on eBay, but they were quite expensive. So, and again, I found at Christmas time, not only were there more available, the prices were much more competitive, which I guess is understandable, especially for reindeer heads, because a lot more people are going to be buying them. So there you go, buy your reindeer heads nearer to Christmas. So I'm going to continue with this, and I'm only going to be doing the horns. Every time I see a loose piece, I'm just going over with a little bit more glue just to secure the ends. I'm really pleased with how the tissue paper has dried. It feels really nice. I've also done a little bit inside the ears, and now to add some colour. So I'm going to use some of the Kaiser colour. I'm going to concentrate with some of the spearmint. I'm very much a bluey, greeny type person, so these colours are perfect for me. Just taking special care around the little antlers. They're so cute. And then I'm just going to go around and colour the head. I'm just doing it roughly, I'm not doing it perfectly, and just going over in little strokes, and I will cover the head like this. I'm starting to go over with a slightly darker colour, so I've just painted it a little bit, and now I am rubbing it and giving it a little bit of texture with this wet wipe. I don't want it to be one complete block colour. So by doing this, as you can see, you just get more of a kind of textured look. It's not one bold black colour, bold colour. So like that. I'm just going to continue doing this, trying not to get paint on the antlers because I've got a little bit on my hands. And I'm just going to continue. And the good thing with using the wet wipe, you can blend in the colours as well because they're nice and damp. And you're working it onto the wet paint. I didn't wait for the original colour to dry. I'm just blending them in. And I really like this look that it's creating, as you can see from here. Little update now, just to let you know how it's going. I finished doing that. I'm getting quite messy here. I am going to continue. I want to darken the teal on there, but not too much. So I'm taking a little bit more of the darker colour onto the wet wipe. Just being careful how I do hold the antlers. And I am just dabbing it over just to build up that colour, but again I don't want it to be a block of colour, just literally the specks, and I'm going over to give it that kind of dabbled effect but not too heavy. Just a little tip, if you do get any paint on the antlers, I've found using the wet wipe it does come off really well. Just don't obviously go press down too hard. So if you find like here it's quite heavy, get a drier piece of the wipe and then just go over and work that up until you're happy with your colour. He's finished. I'm so pleased with him. I've been wanting to make one of these for ages and I just haven't got around to it. So this month's theme of wild adventures of cute animals and things has really pushed me to do this, and I'm really pleased. Love the spotted antlers. I think they're a really nice touch, and inside the ears, and as you can see he's got the little stippled paint effect, and on the back I'll just show you there's a little hole. So I am going to go and get that lovely husband of mine to put something in the wall. So we can go and find a little place to hang him. He's nice and dry now, and he just needs a home and a name. I need to give him a name. If you've any ideas, leave a comment below, and we need to come up a name for him. The other thing I was going to say, actually, I am going to make a felt shape here for his nose. So at Christmas time, I think I'll pop a little bit of felt maybe on with blue tack or something, and some gold sprinklies, some tinsel or something for his antlers, because we love Christmas and he needs a Christmas look in December. So thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this. A little bit different today, but it's been fun. Thank you. Bye.